We're here in Monte Carlo for the Rendez-Vous de Septembre. For AMBest TV, I'm Richard Banks. And I'm joined now by Franz Hahn, who's the Chief Executive of Peak Re. Franz, welcome.
Thank you, Richard.
Franz, so much of the analysis that we hear of the global reinsurance market comes from companies in Europe, in the US, in Bermuda. Give us an idea about how your view differs.
The big picture wouldn't be too much different because we are living in a global world. But there are pockets which are completely different in Asia, and that's why we founded Peak Re 10 years ago. And it's the middle-class society, the emerging middle-class society, the growing wealth of this pocket of the economy, and which gives us a continuum of growth opportunity year by year. And at the time we started with the company, we saw that this opportunity will prevail a couple of decades. And by today, I'm absolutely convinced that it takes many more decades to build this fantastic middle-class society in Asia.
So it's a very different economic environment from the last time that we all gathered here in Monte Carlo. In particular, there's rising inflation across the world. What does that tell us about the conditions for writing insurance and reinsurance?
Well, certainly the claims costs are getting higher. We got to index them where we can index them. We got to get the prices up. We have to anticipate higher cost. Inflation first hit our fixed income book. Luckily in Peak Re, we have a very short duration. And now we see already that we are finalizing the duration of those which we had in play and reinvesting them with a much higher yield. So it has its plus and its minuses. But what I look at is that most players in our industry are not old enough having gone through inflation. So we have to do, the older ones of us, we have to do a lot of communication with the younger generation and to really guide them through what inflation in our industry means and what we have to do. By the way, since the beginning of the year, the cost of capital has gone up very, very heavily. And this is another factor which we have to calculate in. It cannot be the same price as we used to have. Costs of capital are up, of course, for every company in their own way, differently, but certainly this is a huge factor for the industry to come to terms with.
You make a good point about the experience of the market, and there will be people who haven't experienced either rocketing inflation, but also a hard reinsurance market. How important is experience in dealing with those issues?
You just need to have a couple of guys who are telling the youngsters. And it's very important. We need to build it into our capital model. We need to build it into our underwriting models, into the investment model. And we need to make sure that everybody understands it's very, very severe. However, it's also offering a huge opportunity to the industry, and the demand is there in the market. So let's not give up on the demand side, which is huge. We just can cover the demand, but of course at a completely different kind of price set than we used to do before. So there's an opportunity for us all in the industry, for us in Asia, of course, Asia related, for the middle class society, but in the main for the global reinsurance industry, there is a huge opportunity out there in the demand which the population has in order to find new products for the problems they are in currently.
So you talked about the middle class opportunity as one of the rationales behind the foundation of Peak Re. How do you think people's attitudes to insurance might change in more straitened economic times, more difficult economic times?
I think they will be more positive to insurance because insurance has something to offer in the various lines of business. Look alone at health, right? Health has really become into the front of everybody's mind because of the pandemic. And health insurance or underinsurance is huge, not just in emerging Asia, but around the globe. So certainly reinsurers can step up together with their clients to develop new products which are really needed by the consumers. And there is a huge opportunity. And I think I wish for myself and for our industry that we have a positive impact, a positive image we can give on insurance as a solution provider rather than something else.
But it's not just about clients. It's not just about the industry itself. Investors are important as well. Now, you've had some recent experience in dealing with capital markets and dealing with investors. What's the attitude of them to the current situation in the insurance market?
I think in general, investor appetite has been changing completely. They are not going for just a few percentage points. Their demand in return are much higher. For us particularly, we had investor relationship experience in launching our cat bond in Hong Kong, 144A structure. It was the first one in Hong Kong. I'm very happy about it and proud. It was for a windstorm Japan risk. And we wanted to launch 75 million and we finalized with 150 million. So there was something where we could convince the investors that this is a good investment for them. And I think it's at the back of the sound underwriting which we show as a company, and a sound understanding of the market, the insights which we have, and also the culture to go about it and to bring it to the international investor market. And I think, or I hope that everything what has to do with capital markets will be as easy as that in the future. Certainly it's a challenge for our industry, and we don't see really new players coming on, and we have to do the right things in order to attract the capital market, because there are so many choices now outside of the reinsurance industry. So we really have to step up for ourselves and clearly define what is success. And because success without the investors is not possible.
That's a very strong point. Franz, thank you very much indeed for joining us on AM Best TV.
Thank you very much, Richard.
For AM Best TV, I'm Richard Banks.